And we are live on the worst show ever. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Colton, and with me I have Mr. Sean Baker.
What's up? What's up? Thanks for coming. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We got some. We got also Chris. We're breaking over to Chris. Welcome to the worst show ever.
What's up? Hey guys, what's going on?
And today we have two very special guests coming all the way from the East Coast in CT, Connecticut. We have the very funny Brian Barganier and Kate Clancy.
Whoa, you got the nickname. Hell
we
yeah.
are special guests, baby. What?
I've never been a special guest at anything before. This is great. Thanks for having me.
I've never even been special at any point in my life.
Chris has a juice box. He's ready to go. This is a fucking party in here.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited.
Fuck the turtles, man. Get that beverage.
They are the creators, hosts, and stars of Public Access and Chill.
We did it.
You guys want
part of Public Access and Chill, yeah.
A little bit about what that show is all about.
Well, Public Access and Chill was a talk show that I had that's on like public access in a few different states throughout those states and all over the internet. But then we started producing other shows. Like we got a game show called Butt Stuff with Jimmy Blair, and Jimmy Blair hosts that. And then she wrote and stars in a cooking show, Charlene Cuisine. It's like a redneck cooking show, and that's on. We've done 2 seasons of that. And now our son, who's a cactus, hosts the talk show now, and it's called Public Access and Dill with Dill Prickles. So Public Access and Chill is kind of like the umbrella term now. It's the production company because we're making so many shows. Like we have Public Access Shopping Network. We make a lot of like other sketches. Like I try and explain to people now like it was a show, but now it's a channel. It's in a lot of public access like, packages. Like we might be on like, in Connecticut we're mostly like on Cox stuff, but like sometimes it's Comcast because we're on like in Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, LA, New York City, I think Kentucky. Well, like the internet too and shit. So
we're on this little thing called the internet. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's kind of cutting edge.
It's blew up into a lot of stuff, and we're just super thankful to have it all like be able to like shit we can just use.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because you guys been doing that for a few years now.
Public Access Chill is like a whole we're in like our 4th year of like doing stuff like skits and like fucking going live and like live sketch shit. I mean, we used to make sketches.
Yeah, we did.
We used to do those bro roommate sketch shit.
Bro roommate sketches, and I was gonna show. I don't know if you guys saw. Remember we did the one before I moved to San Diego, and it just never got released. It was just like horrible.
The one where you died.
Some dude. So okay, we'll tell the viewers. So we would do these roommate sketches, and it started out where like we had an idea, but then it got to the point where we would just sit in the room and come up with the idea like 20 seconds before we filmed and just go with it. And we
would write the sketch, make it, edit it all in the one hangout session, because if anyone who makes sketch videos knows you're never going to get the same like fucking 5 people together ever again. So if you don't get it done like, oh, we'll shoot this next week. No, you're fucking not. They're going to get another shift at Applebee's. That guy's going to die. And then nothing's fucking happening.
Cool.
Your sketch show is over. They were super fucking fun though, because when you have the pressure, like you kind of like do get it done.
Yeah.
Well, that was Colton's just start filming. We'll get it done. Just start filming.
Let's see what it looks like. I think a lot of our viewers would love to see.
Yeah.
Let's see it. I would love to see it. I know I would.
The one where you die, I'm so excited.
This special, nobody's ever seen it, right?
Set this video up. Set this up before you play. Let us know what we're watching here.
All right, so this video is literally the last one that we did before I moved to San Diego, and we had planned on filming these for a while, and then I just came to one of the meetings, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to San Diego, and they're like, what?
Yeah, you kind of did just move to California. Well, yeah, we made a lot of those sketches. We made like fucking 14 of them or something like that.
We have a lot online.
Yeah.
We had a really good thing going, and then Colton just decided to move to San Diego. And I believe it was
that's true. We did have a really good thing going. I remember a lot of people were watching those and like saying they were funny. But
Dude,
my mutton chops were
yeah,
awful,
I
so
was-
I'm kind of glad they're done.
Does Ryan, what's his name, Shanahan, right, from Northampton?
Yeah, he moved, but yeah.
But okay, so he used to have a mic up there, and it was in Northampton, Massachusetts. And I'll never forget the last open mic that he had. His open mic was more like a show, so it was cool. But the last one he did, he introduced me, and he goes, "This next guy coming to stage is moving to San Diego for pussy or something. I don't know. Give it up for Cole." And it was, dude. It was moving for that fucking stupid bitch at the time.
That's why he's still here.
Good
This
job,
guy is
dude. You did
here.
it. Well, you're still there, so you made it. I don't know.
By
if
the
you're gonna
sounds of it, it didn't go so well. But hey, shout out to that stupid bitch if you're watching.
Shout out.
No, actually, she
He
has.
more stupid bitches along the way, and that's what's kept him here this whole time. So shout out
That
to all those
cold, heartless
stupid
bitch. Let's check out that clip.
But yeah, let's see this video, dude. Let's see it. So this is the last one that you guys shot together.
This was our response to Colton moving. This is the sketch we wrote together.
All right.
I don't even remember this.
So this is the last one ever. It's 2 minutes to check out. Yeah, if you guys want to mute yourselves so that the audio is more clear, and then we'll unmute you after.
All right.
Best Friends was recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Bros! I'm going to California. I'm out. So fuck you, dog. You're coming with me. Getting out of here. All right, surf's up. Later. Bro! That's crazy.
Well, you scared the shit out of the. Bro, this is crazy. Oh, I think it just made me move. Must be some powers in the switch, man. It's probably a time machine. You think so? It's probably a time machine. I think it just teleports. We should check back in time. You want to go, man? No. Just no, bros. My anus is mad at me. LOL. Did you tell it a bad joke? To yesterday, forever something, it's gone away.
Guess how many chicken nuggets I can fit in my butt mouth?
17.
No.
How many?
17.
7. Best Friends was recorded in front of a live studio audience.
All right.
That was fucking terrible. I'm glad we stopped doing it now. No, I remember we were like, let's just make it as shitty as possible.
Ryan's texting during one of the scenes.
Multiple scenes.
Right.
Remember we had a good thing going, and then we showed that? I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
Yeah, we were so like, we had a good thing going. It was really popular. Let's check out.
Yeah, you got to show one of the good ones. You can't just show. But I just want
I know for a fact in the credits it said that you died brushing your teeth. I remember that. It's like you were brushing your teeth and died 10 minutes later after the taping. I know that was the well, we put a bow on it.
Brian, you look like the lead singer from Coheed and Cambria.
Right? God, do you see how fucking fat I was back then? And I didn't have a beard. It was all bad. Thank God.
Claudio Dirty Sanchez. Give it up. Bam.
Yeah.
Which one do you guys want me to show? There we have
None.
the good ones.
Oh no, I don't know. Was it kind of
The-
lagging?
Oh, play the one where I'm getting ready to go out and it's taking me forever. Because I remember Brian did not want to dress up with us, and we made him dress up with us, and he was like, dude, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be on camera. But if you could play
that
it.
when we wore boas in the bathroom and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did
But
not
you
want
looked
to
like
do
you were
that.
having a great time in the video. But
Yeah, it was such a great time.
All right, I'm gonna look for that while you do that, Chris. I think you have a photo album with Brian in it from 7th grade.
Oh yeah, no, I'd like to show because I've known Brian since I was like 4, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, both of you I've known a long fucking time.
But there was a school trip where we all had to go to Williamsburg, Virginia, and I just wanted to show a nice little picture of me. Let me take the background off so everybody can see it.
Nice window, bro.
Thanks. I've been working on it. So
Look
there's
at that handsome boy.
there's Brian without a goatee, I guess. You want me to stitch that in and see if you look the same?
I look like I'm about to get my first communion.
You do.
Look
That
at
was when we were going to like Jefferson Theater or something.
Look
and
at you,
everybody
dude.
got-
You look like Amber Alert. Like, holy fuck. Like,
Wait,
abducted. You look like that bee abducted you 5 seconds later.
What?
we had to dress up and we were going to like fucking like a buffet or something.
Wait, Colton, are you in that picture?
No, but I was on that trip.
It was the same trip. It's like mandatory in
What
7th
kind
grade.
of white trash Williamsburg trip requires you to dress up for a buffet?
You had to
What
go-
Ruby fucking Tuesdays were you
It was
going
probably no. You have to go to. We went and saw something at the theater where Lincoln got shot. What's that?
Where
You guys were dressed up?
Oh, is that when you were fingering the bullet hole?
No,
Oh.
The Crystal Food Court we went to. It was awful.
Crystal Court.
we did it. We did it. Crystal Food Court. I remember I saw a kid shaving in the sink at that bathroom. I'll never forget that. That ruined me.
Wasn't that
Tristan
true?
was shaving, yeah, angrily.
He was so mad that day.
He was so mad he shaved his face.
Because he hit his head and we were all cheering him on to jump.
Yeah, man. 7th grade was a simpler time. Comedy was way easier. You could just laugh at someone hitting their head for fucking 4 days.
I roomed with it was me, Mike, I won't say last names, Mike S, Justin S, and Easton L. And it was a fucking shit show of a room. And then I remember they put the tape on the room so you couldn't they knew if you left at night.
Yeah. And we did. We snuck out. I was telling you guys off camera that we snuck out and bought 3-pound bags of Twizzlers and shit. Like, hold on. She's calling us white trash. We all went to like Newington and shit. Ham, did your school ever do like a school trip and then you had to stay in a hotel room, but then you had to pick who your 3 friends were to like be in? Like,
Yeah.
that's that like pressure of like, all right, who do I actually like give a fuck about? Because you're gonna hurt someone's feelings.
Yeah.
Like someone that just like, oh, you're in the reject room of all the 4ths no one wanted.
So where did you
And
guys
that
go?
room stinks.
Where was your trip to? Where you guys all staying?
Williamsburg, so like Powdered Wigs, fucking
Okay.
Colonial Town, like Jamestown
Alright.
too.
How long did you guys stay there?
Weekend? I don't fucking remember. Do you guys?
It was like 5 days, I think.
Did you guys ever
It sucked. It was it was crazy. It was like a long trip for like being that young. I know that.
Yeah, did you guys
You're like
ever
12.
do the Washington D.C. trip?
That's it.
That's
We
the
did
one-
go to DC, but like we stayed in Williamsburg, so it was like Williamsburg, DC, like.
Oh,
some
we didn't even
shit.
go to Williamsburg.
We learned about history. Like, you want to see what it was like to live in the 1700s? Y'all like farms? Y'all like churches with like no pictures and shit? Like, okay, here you go.
I got one more. This is how stupid and punk we were. This was before Jackass though, so but
Oh my god.
look at how dumb I look.
Is that? Am I in that? Oh yeah, I am. I'm in the blue
You're
shirt.
pointing
Yo, I pop in blue.
Coolest guy in the world.
Body. Who was the 2 people to the left?
It's Conrad and Tristan.
Okay, so the guy all the way to the left, that was the guy we caught angrily shaving in the sink in the food court. He has a beard. He had a beard in 7th grade. That's impressive.
Yeah. Seriously, we all had nothing, and this kid was like full bearded.
Tristan, I know you're friends with me on Facebook. Fucking come on. Go live with us. And
Defend
comment.
yourself.
You had a beard mad early. We love you.
Tell us about your beard journey.
I was in a band with you. You played bass. You're great.
Hold on, I think I got a picture of Colton in here somewhere because he was on our bus.
Chris, how do you have that like so easily accessible at this time? Like mine's
Sounds
back.
like he prepared for his own show.
Taking something out, and I found it in a bin. Like I've been quarantining. That's all I've been doing. So I finally just like found this book and went through it. But okay, I gotta show Alan Mail too. Dancing on a boat.
Oh my
Oh
God.
yeah, we did go on a boat. And that was the first time I ever heard someone call soda pop, and I thought he was the weirdest dude ever.
Wait, Sean, so you took this same trip, but from San Diego to, or were you in New York? Oh, you were in New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we took a bus all the way over there. We stayed at a hotel for like 3 nights or something like that. Bro,
Yeah.
that was a disaster. We thought one night, one of our friends called our room and was like, "Yeah, we figured out how you can watch porn for like a few minutes before it goes off." And we were like, "All right, cool." So he told my friend Rob how to do it, and then Rob just watched it all night, like the whole night, and then ended up like falling asleep to it or whatever. And then anyway, the next day we were out at dinner, and then we were supposed to go to like a museum afterwards. But one of the kids fainted at dinner and like was unconscious and shit. So that was like a big deal because his kid's away from home, he's on a class trip. So everything was canceled. We had to go back to our hotels that night. And he just watched more porn for the whole rest of the night, And
That's
then,
why he fainted. He jerked himself
No, it
off to
wasn't.
exhaustion. This was before the internet. He was whooped.
Can the kid get a Gatorade? He's dehydrated. He fucking needs last ounce of moisture.
I think he faked the fainting so he can go back into the hotel faster, But no, it was a totally different kid. But the funny thing is, at the very end of the trip, we all get back on our buses. We're going to go back on this like 8-hour-long ride back to New York. And the teacher gets on the bus and they were like, "So we didn't get to do the museum last night because of Jonathan, fainting, whatever. So every single one of you is getting a certain amount of money refunded back to you. Except for," he's like, "Sean, Dan, Rob," and he named everybody in our room. And then everybody in the room who told us this is how you get free porn. And then they pulled us off of the bus and were like, "You guys aren't getting any of your money back because you had a huge bill that I'm sure your parents aren't going to want to know about." And we were like, "Hey, no, you guys can keep the money."
That's a dope trade-off, though, that they didn't snitch. Hell yeah.
No,
I guess it wasn't free.
Ain't no such thing as free titties. You pay every time, one way or another.
The weirdest part about that story actually is that you said your friend fell asleep just watching porn. Like he was just lulled to sleep. Like, oh, so comforting with this quintuple penetration.
To be fair, it's hotel TV porn, so like for a fact, it's like Big Sausage Pizza 12. Like it's just like a franchise. It's not that like niche. You don't get to see all the crying you might want. It's just like kind of vanilla porn.
You guys are thinking new porn right now. Everybody's like thinking new porn, but no. This is like television.
Scrambled porn. Good old scrambled porn.
Without the scramble, but with story.
Eggs, bro.
What's that?
There's nothing. I'm not going to repeat the hackiest joke.
Good for you. Way to show restraint.
That one was just for the people listening.
Dude,
so for people that don't know what Big Sausage Pizza is, can you explain it, Kate?
Yo, straight up, I actually know for a fact what Big Sausage Pizza is because my friend Chelsea, shout out to Chelsea, she was one of my first friends who ever had an apartment, and they paid for like the full cable package where like softcore porn was included. And we saw this was back in the day of TV Guide, so it's just scrolling through and we're like, Big Sausage Pizza 12. We're like, there's 11 more of these? Like, we got to see what all the buzz is about. And it was just corny, like classic, like, just like Seinfeld-esque music playing and like a guy coming up and like ringing the doorbell. Like, did anyone order this? And it's just like his dick sticking up through the box, like resting on the little table divider. Like, and and then they just banged in a bunch of different positions in a shitty looking like hotel room. And that's basically Big Sausage Pizza 12.
Did you also picture him ringing the doorbell with his dick? Because I did. He just ding dong.
Even Seinfeld didn't make it 12 seasons. I mean,
your food comes in 30 minutes or less, and so do I, lady.
It's a show about nothing but fucking.
So while I was looking for the video of our roommate sketches, I totally forgot about the country store. Remember the country store, Brian?
That one's good.
I did. I liked those sketches too, but dude, which one were you gonna show?
The one where you were, the robbery where you were.
Dude, show that one. That one's funny. I played a cop.
Yeah,
I love that one. I love that one.
That was when we decided to add a structure and a storyline to the sketches, and this was the best we could do.
Well, we had the store at our disposal for one night, so we made 3 sketches, and this one had the most thought in like script and like needed shit to get shot in it, but it was also the last one we shot because someone was fucking super late.
Yeah. Give me a minute while I download it so I can show our hundreds of thousands of viewers.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought you were gonna say that Big Sausage Pizza was filmed at your friend's apartment because you were like, my friend was the first one to have it.
Remember that one bro sketch where you were in a porno?
Yeah.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Found out you're in a porn. That was fucking funny.
Dude, we have a lot of funny ones.
Why
we
you
really
guys
do have
acting so natural?
And then you moved, dude.
Dude, I Sean, just to
We
give
had
you
a
a
good
background
thing
story,
going.
we literally had like a great thing going, and then I came to them one day and I'm like, yeah, I was like, it's probably gonna be our last one because I'm moving in a couple weeks. And they're like, where are you moving to? I was like, I'm moving to San Diego, and they're like, what?
Imagine ruining a sketch group for hoe dads. What a weird line to draw in the sand.
We had a good thing going, shooting a sketch in 20 minutes in Chris's bedroom.
Yep. And especially after all the hits that Purge video got, I'm sure you guys are just fucking devastated. Right?
Well, you guys have a few videos that got like a fuck ton of views, and like we did, like the bro roommates did for what it's worth. We're just deciding to show the fucking worst of the worst.
What was the Purge? Purge had a lot, right? Then it got shut down.
So the Purge one was one that my brother really wanted to do because he loves horror movies, and that one, because we labeled it at the time it was the Purge 3 coming out, we labeled it Purge 3 trailer. It actually got up to close to 1 million views, and then it got taken down because whoever created the Purge, Paramount or Sony or whatever, they flagged it because our video was getting more views than their trailer at the time.
That sketch was funny though. I liked it.
Yo, branding is everything.
You had a good thing going.
Oh, yeah.
We did. All right, so for our viewers out there, this is our sketch called The Country Store.
It was great. Dave Cannell was on Public Access and Chill all the time, isn't it?
All right, let's mute ourselves if we can.
Yeah, you guys mute. Oh, fuck, hold on. I got to take my AirPods out because it's just going to come through here. Hold on.
Okay. And just mute all of us, Colton. We'll just mute all, and then we'll unmute afterwards.
All right. Hold on. I'm not screen sharing.
Can I just say, remember when we made the intro to that and it was just a bunch of noises in GarageBand and that was it? And we were like, I kind of like it. It just sounds cool.
Yeah. It's nonsense.
All right. Now listen.
Yes, I've heard a lot about these GMOs. I don't know what to think of them. Yes, but I've heard they're dangerous. But maybe they're. Oh, sure, go right ahead, please.
This card. It's funny. It's a dog.
This is one of my favorites.
I don't want to buy it.
Oh, okay. Here we go. All right. You're all set.
Thank you so much.
Have a nice day. Boy, some people have no manners these days, you know. They come in, they interrupt. Here I am, we're trying to have a meaningful conversation. And then this happens. All right, I see you have a meatball sub. What kinds of cheese? Do you have provolone? Yeah, we have, hold on. Just want those. Can I purchase some bag chips? Yeah, no problem. Is that? That's going to be up there. Really bad. Get that cash register right now. With what? Put it in the bag, or I'll blow your head off. Yeah. You too. What are you doing? Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone.
Hello, I am sorry to inform you, but you are now being robbed by a telephone. Please put the money in the bag or you will not be harmed.
Okay. All right.
Please put all your money in the bag.
I did.
Please put all your money in the bag.
All right.
Thank you for your cooperation. Ciao.
Hang up. What's going on in here? All right, buddy, let's go. Come on, yeah, you, let's go, man. Come on, get your hands behind your back. Yep, grab these fucking chips right here. Let's go. Are you serious? No problem, man. Oh, we got smoke later? Hey, I got him, man. We're good. We're good. You owe me one, dude. How much you think is in it? Got me a couple grand. Chips. Chips. Where's the money? Chips. Go. Chips. It's chips. Hey, man, let me see those chips. You got it. Yeah, I love chips, dude. Oh, yeah. Favorite kind, too. Greenbacks. Yeah. Dude, how much money? Dude, we got like 85 bucks here, man. We're set, dude. We're set. All right.
Jobbies, peeps, and dazzereets.
What a twist, huh?
I stand by that sketch.
That's a good
like
sketch.
the writing is definitely there, but the execution was rushed. You know,
Well, what we
it's
need-
fucking funny. I still like it.
I love it.
we need to explain. We filmed 3 sketches in one night.
Mhm.
Multiple people showed up late to that filming. Dave Canal, in the middle of filming, had the mask thing on, and we're like, "Fuck it, just keep it."
He every time he kept fake shooting the gun, because I don't know if the video works, like is working for the live stream, but I couldn't hear like the gun sound effect. But like he actually like shoots it, but he kept like doing it with his mouth, like, and I had to be like with the camera, like, Dave, stop like mouthing the machine gun while you do it. And then he still did it, and we're like, all right, just fucking keep it. Like, it'll be
He's a
fine.
fucking legend. I love
Yeah.
Dave Canal.
Oh, he's amazing. He's Goldscum on Public Access and Chill. He's world-renowned photographer Dick Goldscum.
Dude, yeah, he actually, I
Celebrity.
reached out to him and told him to check out one of our one of these shows, and he came in. I think it was our 2nd episode. He popped in for a little bit, but the conversation was just flowing. I didn't have a chance to have him pop in himself, but I loved it.
Yeah, there was a lot of comics in there. I mean, Scott McDonald was the funniest part in the 2nd episode, where he legit just talks about lettuce for like 14 minutes straight. That was one of the funniest riffs of all time. We were like, just talk about lettuce, and he was like, okay. And Scott McDonald, being the goddamn psychopath that he fucking is, I love him. He's hilarious. He just fucking went down this like rabbit hole of shit. He was like talking about how he needs to take his like sleep apnea medication at one point. I'm like, what is he talking about, yo?
I felt like there was real shit in there too. Like he had, like, stuff that
Thank God someone brought this up.
It was the episode where Brian and Chris go outside and they smoke weed, and Chris starts bugging out because he's high. And then Chris goes back to be behind the cashier's register, and all of a sudden Scott's behind the register with him, and he's just going on and on and on about how lettuce is made and the production of lettuce. And Brian comes in and starts firing his gun in the ceiling.
Yeah, I'm just shooting the gun all around the store. I'm so high. It was so fun to have that cop outfit. I remember someone came to the store and they like thought I was a cop for a second, but then also they were confused. I had that fake like it looked real.
It is. It's a Bill Hartford police uniform.
It was yeah.
No, it's not.
We found it.
Yeah, we found it.
It was in the archives.
So moving on, we have our next video, which is from one of our sponsors at TikTok. We're gonna play this, and we can thank one of our sponsors for our TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok.
All right, and we are back from our commercial break.
Wow, that's great stuff, you guys. I learned a lot, honestly. I did.
At least it wasn't 12-year-olds dancing.
Oh, that's our sponsor.
Who the fuck thinks that anybody likes to watch that shit? Are you guys making these TikTok videos? Are you looking like an asshole in front of the whole? Like, who's?
We try to make TikTok videos, but it's not the easiest. It's not our demographic. We're more on the Poop Map thing. Do you guys on Poop Map? They're a sponsor of our podcast. Y'all ever go to meatslappodcast.com?
Bring it up.
Yeah, bring up Meat Slap.
Yeah.
Put it across the screen. That'd be dope. That's actually a podcast in like all the shows we were running.
So
and
I'm gonna share the screen and then you tell.
Give it to them as your virtual background.
Yeah. I'm gonna screen share and then you tell me where to go on the website to show the people.
Well, if you want to listen to the podcast, you can literally click listen right there, or like that big button right under Meat Slap Podcast. But at the top of the page, it's pretty simple. It has our stand-up schedule, but that's like pretty much non-existent right now. Just where you can contact us, but more importantly, you can buy our merch. We got tons of fucking merch for sale. We have books for sale. I wrote a book. Ham wrote a book. We have hats. We got candles. The candles aren't on the website anymore. I took them down. But the fucking hats are always on and popping. But the books have been selling like fucking hotcakes.
We have tickets to my special that has been rescheduled till August because this is a personal slight at me. This whole thing.
Yeah, that has the wrong date. It was supposed to be
wrong.
March 26th.
Yep.
It was like one of the first shows that we got canceled. It was a fucking bummer. But
everyone wanted to stop this hot comedy, but it's still coming at you just in August now. So.
But those are both of our books. I wrote.
What are your guys' books about?
My book, The Liquor Store Chronicles, is about how I worked at a liquor store in Hartford, Connecticut for 5 years while I was also a touring comedian, and it was just awful times. And I used to just post about it on Facebook, and it's just a compilation and further explanation of 5 years of all the craziest posts I would post on Facebook, and more organized. And it's the ultimate toilet read. That's what I tell everybody. You open up to any page while you're taking a dump, and you're going to laugh your ass off.
Yeah.
And I got ebooks and physical copies for sale. It's $20 shipped for a physical copy and $5 ebook directly emailed right to you.
You should read a passage from it. It reads like a script. So they're quick little, interactions with basically Hartford crackheads. And it's just like a quick little back and forth between Brian and that person. But
I'll read from my book while I get it, you explain what your book's about. Because you sold a fuck ton of books too.
Well, yeah, but my book's nothing to write home about. It's not really for anything comedic. It has nothing to do with my passions. But it's about how I lost 100 pounds in 10 months, and then Brian lost 90 pounds in 9 months. So it's the book with like all of the tips and tricks on how to do that though as garbage people. Because like Brian and I are both comics who like tour all the time and we're always on the road. And so it's basically like, how can you do that from eating at gas stations? But like also in seriousness, it's got like recipes that I've written. I'm a big keto baker, and shopping lists of where to find all the products that people like don't really know where to find them, like when they first start keto, because it's a really big transition from like what we're used to eating as gross Americans. And so it's basically just about that. It's nothing, like I said, it's nothing comedic or anything. It's just something that really helped pay the bills. As a comic, it really filled the gap between what we were bringing in comedy money and what.
So on Charlene Cuisine, do you do actual recipes?
Yeah, Charlene Cuisine is not edible stuff.
It just always has way too much mayonnaise or ranch on it.
Yeah, Charlene Cuisine is like, so that's a sketch show. I mean, I guess it's episodic, but it's a show where I'm a garbage person. My name is Charlene. My last name is Junior. So Charlene Junior, and then it's me and my son Jimmy Blair, who is Dale Earnhardt Jr., and then his pregnant girlfriend, who was like pregnant in real life, not his kid, different girl. She's a comic, and she gave birth to Dale Earnhardt Jr., who's my grandson. And so I am.
Bree Hiltz, shout out Bree Hiltz.
Yeah, and so in the show, I'm this woman who was auditioning to have a cooking show, but my cooking is awful and my family is garbage. So they sign me, but I don't realize that it's just because my family is a shit show and like that's what people want to see. I really truly believe it's about my amazing cooking. So we do a full dish and everything on the show, but the food is awful. Like the dishes are like I don't know. We've had
Tuna
like,
boats.
yeah, tuna boats.
We
And
made a Thanksgiving like turkey out of like turkey dogs and like stuffing and like it all has to be made in the microwave. It's
Yeah.
exclusively microwavable meals and things that you shouldn't cook in the microwave, like cornbread and shit like that. It's really funny. You should do a cookbook. I think it'd be fucking hilarious. But the thing that she doesn't really talk about too is not only is it like she's done 2 seasons of the show, like writing and starring in it and stuff, but she was doing it live too. Like she's done a bunch of these shows live, and she was even the warm up for like a TV show, a TV network TV. They were doing a live show, Romancing the Pan, and Kate was the warm-up comic and closing the shows out doing dessert as Charlene Cuisine. So she was fucking murdering it, making
Like-
worms and dirt for motherfuckers. It was
like
so,
a legit
it was super
chef
cool.
would make, like this legit chef would make a real 5-course meal, well actually 4-course meal for her live studio audience, like her VIP fans that bought tickets for like hundreds of dollars to be there. And then when it came to dessert time, it was just me and a bandana coming out and making dirt and worms in a mop bucket and slapping it into solo cups and like handing it out and talking about NASCAR and stuff. And everyone was just like, because I was the comic earlier who like warmed up the crowd, and then I just fucked off and then came back as this other person.
It
and
was
like
awesome.
made them eat my dessert. But it was actually edible and tasted good. But
Yeah,
I was
it's
like
always edible.
crushing up like dollar store brand Oreo cookies for the dirt and worms, because you know how it's like chocolate pudding, crushed up cookies, and like gummy worms. And I'm like, I've got the big bag, like a Ziploc bag of these dollar store Oreos, and on it I wrote American soil, and I'm like, you just gotta crush them up with the people's elbow, and I'm like elbow dropping the cookies and like talking about how like Bret Hart is my forbidden Canadian love and like all this stupid shit. These people are like not that audience. It was mad funny.
Charlene live is delicious because it's just candy. Like it's always gonna be like just like a sweet treat, but like on the show it's like just mayonnaise.
Inedible, yeah.
But these people had no idea you were going to do that. Like, you just went from being like a comic to like, they thought they were getting a cooking show, and then you just come out with like dog shit in a fucking bag.
Correct.
Yeah, and
After
it kills
they
every
ate-
time too, dude.
Yeah.
It like people like love it because they were down for like laughing and stuff. Sometimes it's like weird because like you know how it is with doing stand up too, like, and you start a show at like a bar or something and no one knows comedy's about to start.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like a weird, awkward, like only some people know how to like make that transition. It's fucking 1,000 times harder with sketch. Yeah. Like, hey, we have you to be really accepting to a premise and then suspend your disbelief and action. Now the jokes still have to hit too.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, people like it when you get into it too.
That helps.
All right, so you want to give us an excerpt? Jesus, I'm fucked up. What's it called? Excerpt? What's it called when you read a portion from a book?
You were good.
All right.
You didn't have to go.
I'll do an excerpt from the book. I was doing a lot of book readings. I also am doing it live on my Facebook every Monday at 3 p.m. I'm just answering questions.
The unhappy hour.
The unhappy hour. It's just live on my Facebook, Brian.Barganier.7. Like legit.
Who the fuck knows that?
So I can fucking plug it real quick like this. And,
oh my god.
So yeah.
http://
Yep. Yeah. It's well, whatever. I got it in the bag. You know what I'm saying? And I just been doing that because I've been doing a lot of like Q&As and stuff, and I have been people buying the book a lot, especially during the lockdown.
Yeah.
So I don't know. For the excerpt, can you see it? It kind of reads like a script. Can you kind of see how it looks? So when I read it, like I'm gonna say me for like when I talk, and I have to say like customer for like when the customer's talking. So you have to get in that rhythm. And this was just like just a catalog of stuff over the years, and I would actually like timestamp them and date them too. So that was like, you guys remember how the posts were on Facebook? They had like a cult following of their own and shit. And all right, so this is one of my favorite ones. August 12th, 2017, liquor store, 9:31 a.m. They're all super fucking early in the morning for the most part, because this place opened at 8 a.m. So that means I was always there at 8:10 a.m. opening that store. So, all right, 9:31 a.m. Customer walks in. Customer, you open? Me in a clearly open store. Yeah. Customer walks out. 9:35 a.m. Customer re-enters. Customer, pint of Henny? Me. 24.45. Like, it's just caveman talk at this point. Like, we're just basics. Customer, oh no, it has to be smaller than that. That's not a typo. That's exactly how he said it. It has to be smaller than that. Me, okay, do you want a half pint? It's $13.35. Customer, who I see is holding $18, by the way. I don't have enough. Customer leaves. I'm only halfway done, by the way. 9:38 a.m. Customer re-enters. Customer, how much are the Butteritas? So we've gone from pint of Henny to Butteritas in 3 fucking minutes. Who hasn't been there, right? Me, what size? Customer, grape. Me, no, how big? Customer, grape. Me, I'm just hitting a dab pen openly in the store. $2. Like, he's just giving me $2 at this point. Customer leaves. 9:41 a.m. Customer re-enters, purchases a bunch of stuff, but is 65 cents short. He asks if he can owe me, and I say no about 8,000 times, and then he pulls out a wad of 20s and pays for it. Hey, fuck you, dude. And they're all kind of like anticlimactic in that sense because, you know, I'm just dealing with crackheads for the most part, trying to turn empties so they can pay for me for nips. Chris, didn't you know the store, right?
So yeah, well, I sell beer, so I'm in those.
You're a beer distributor, so you know what I'm talking about. These are
I'm in those stores at like 9 a.m. and it's incredible the people that you'll see, and it's also incredible the people that you don't expect to see there that are there, like people in scrubs and the mailman and the UPS guy and like all these people.
Yeah, a lot of FedEx drivers. Watch out, you guys. But no, a lot of third shift. There were those guys that were just like, I just got out of work. I want tequila and a 30 rack.
There was one of those to every 5 not of those.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It was just a fucking nightmare. I mean, this is 5 years and like just.
You worked there?
Wait, you worked there for 5 years?
Yeah.
I used to work at a liquor store too, actually.
Yeah. Was it awful or was it a nice one?
No, it was nice. They like took good care of it. It was.
Was it in New York?
It was. It was.
They're nice.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Hartford?
Yeah, dude, I've been to Harvard a couple times.
Did you enjoy
I can second. I've been to your package store. I won't name it, but
No.
Brian, that is the shittiest fucking package store. I was scared to go there early in the morning.
Wait, what's the name of it?
Fuck yeah, I had to open it with a key. How do you think I fucking felt? It was fucking terrifying.
I don't know what yours was like, but like I know the liquor store that like I don't mean to say it in so many words, but the one my mom would frequent had like when we lived in this one town near Albany, they had this huge beautiful liquor store, and like in the middle there was a grand piano that played itself. And you could watch it. It was like behind ropes, and it was like just this gorgeous place, like, you know, nice flooring throughout, and like it was beautiful. Wow. And then for those of you who have seen the one Brian works at, it was the exact opposite. It was terrible. Yep. And I also on Sundays. So when we first moved in together, I moved from New York to Connecticut. And Brian's truck died literally the day before we moved in together. So we live on the shoreline, and he was working in Hartford, 45 minutes inland, and my office in the daytime is on the shoreline. So I drive him all the way to Hartford to this shithole, and then all the way to work, and then all the way back, and then out to do comedy, and then all the way home. So we were on the road for at least 3 hours a day every day while he's working at this liquor store.
For probably 13 hours.
And so on Sundays, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to watch football all day on Sunday anyway. I can stream multiple games on my computer and like follow fantasy and shit. I'll just stay at the liquor store with you for the 6 hours that you're there, so I don't spend 3 hours driving for you to be at a store for 6 hours. Like, it doesn't make any sense. That was a bad idea.
Brian had a big career going there, though. It was.
Oh my God! There's just like huge. There's just rat shit on everything. Like, you can't even fathom the amount of rat shit in this liquor store. It's disgusting. And then there's people just like eating in there and like I don't know, like existing. I don't know. It was the worst.
It was a fucking cleanliness was definitely a problem.
It was terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like that, but it definitely didn't have a piano in it either. It was actually in a shopping plaza. There was like a supermarket in that plaza. There was like stores. So it was like in a strip mall, you know.
And those are pretty like run of the mill. Like in New York, they're always nice though. Like every liquor store is nice.
This was a side job for me. Comedy is my full-time job, so I was like going on the road for like literally like a month plus at a clip. So I'd be like gone for like 40 fucking days, and then like I would come back and there wouldn't be any line for my job, so I would just be getting like hours again until I just would go on tour again.
Yeah.
Because I would try and like time it out, because you can't go back to the same areas like too often. You try and keep it like 6 months apart, but then you have to also stay going through different circuits too, so you have to get creative with that. So and I don't want to fucking be there, so it was cool to just leave for a month.
This is a side note for Sean though. In Connecticut, so it's not like New York. Connecticut, they don't sell booze at the gas stations. Like they don't have beer or anything.
It's
whereas like
store.
In New York, you can go grab a 40 if you're having a day at Cumbies for $3, and then and then skedaddle. So what's interesting is like the liquor stores are so shitty in Connecticut because it's like out of necessity. Like people have to go there for any booze anyway, so who cares? But New York, it's just like
and they used to be closed on Sundays.
But this motherfucker was hating on Stewart's, which, as you know, as a New Yorker, that is a cardinal sin. It is not allowed. And he was like, "Oh, Stewart's sucks. I hate Stewart's. It's a gas station." He called it a gas station.
It is a fucking gas station.
I just want Sean to gang up on you with me for.
I was gonna ask him what Stewart's is, and the first fucking 2 words out of his mouth were me: gas and station.
No, ice cream shop. Ice cream shop.
What is it?
Oh man.
Convenience
It's
store.
A gas station that sells hot dogs and ice cream.
They don't all have gas. Some of them
coffee.
do not have gas.
Do they have gas flavored ice cream?
But no, but you know how like for a while like 7-Eleven was all like slushy. I feel like Stewart's was more of like ice cream convenience store kind of a place.
Yes, they have the #1 ranked
it's a gas
French vanilla
station.
ice cream.
They always have
Vanilla,
gas?
baby,
Every
best in the
Stewart's have
world.
gas? Did every Stewart's have a gas station at it? Oh.
No, there's Stewart's that don't have gas
Yeah, that's
pumps.
what I was
That's
saying.
why I am so
They're
infuriated.
fucking a rarity.
It's like
A rarity.
convenience. You know, like if you pulled into one to get your ice cream, you're like, oh shit, they got gas here too. You know what I'm saying? It's
I
like,
honestly, if it's like one of those nights, if I'm like not in the mood, I'll just pick a Stewart's fight and I'll be like, I'm going to bed. Like,
I have a Stewart's headache. I have brain freeze.
I just needed. I found out you're from New York, and I needed that from you, Sean. Thank you.
no doubt. I'm happy to give that to you.
It's a hot button issue in this
Well,
household.
I'm glad both of you guys could be from racist Canada.
I feel like Team Brian, so I'm gonna say Stewart sucks.
Yeah.
Boo. Look at
Stewart
this.
have gasoline flavored ice cream.
Look at this guy with the grades.
Look at that guy not wearing gloves or a mask while he talks directly into that microphone.
That 57-year-old child is working hard for his family, okay?
Saratoga Dairy.
That guy could literally be 12 or 47.
Why is that 12-year-old dressed up like Bill Belichick for fucking Halloween?
It's like he's doing every job at that place. He's got the headset on. He's carrying the
He's gonna go pump your gas too.
Yeah, he's got his hoodie on. He's definitely going
put
up
eggs in your gas tank.
That's it right there in the middle in the chicken costume. That's the same dude.
That's the quarantine outfit I want. Is that chicken outfit?
Wait, so it is a
gas
fucking gas
at the
station.
Stewart.
It is a fucking
Some of them. Some of them
them
have
are,
gas. Not all of them. But they
That looks
all
like a lot of
Let's-
fun.
We're gonna search for career opportunities.
Guys, let's get it. Let's fill out a job application.
Look, we could be this
And this
woman
would
or
be
that.
Convenience retail. They have
Who is that?
operations. They have
Who's
here
the woman in the middle that's doing science to the ice cream? Like, why?
that lady looks like she should be working on the cure for the coronavirus.
Seriously.
She's working at Stewart's slanging the cream. What the fuck is going on here?
What if I wanted extra hair in my ice cream?
You should work there.
Yeah.
And what is this
Guys,
guy holding? This
hair
guy's holding
in
just
ice
like
cream.
pizza crust.
Dude, look at the guy on the right.
Why are there a lot of children doing like?
He's the only guy not smiling. That maintenance dude right there. Let me see. Is everybody else
Isn't-
smiling?
Because he hasn't seen the
That
sun.
machine this is that machine that you use to like on an ice skating rink to like
Zamboni.
Zamboni.
He's cleaning the floors and moving product at the same time.
That's how they sell the ice cream. They
But
just
this
have
guy looks miserable. Everybody else is smiling in their picture except for the fucking custodian, bro. Look how mad he looks.
He's
I like
stoked.
how everybody's doing something, but like the white guy all the way to the left, he's just smiling. That's it.
Can you imagine like cleaning and then someone just walks up to you like from corporate, like say cheese?
The guy in
It's
the
like
right
minimum wage.
It's like the guy all the way on the right was trying to avoid his picture being taken all day, and then at that moment they were like, "Hey, Carl," and he turned around and he's like, "Ah," and he's like, "Ah, god damn it!" Like that was his picture. Like, "Ah, you got me."
Can you write
what-
your job title? It looked like you could write it in.
Yeah, what's the
Rick's
New York?
butt.
What's the New York zip code?
12866. That's Saratoga Springs. They have lots of Stewarts there.
Oh, here we go.
Holy
Yeah,
We have
all those babies.
that guy.
Am I gonna get a job that's like 3 hours away?
You wish
All right.
you could get Stewarts. You don't have enough class.
You guys pick one, and then we'll read the description.
All right, let's be a shop opener. I want to open shop in Mechanicville.
I like manager
That's
trainee
what
because
I when I worked at RJ Kerrigan. That was when I was dating you long distance. That's where I get my coffee. Yeah.
Well, guess what? We're moving to Mechanicsville, baby. I got a career.
Okay. So as a shop opener, you need to know how to prepare food, make coffee, run the register, dip ice cream, stock, facility and housekeeping procedures. We offer $13 to $15 per hour.
Hold on.
Also, did you hear anything about gas? Because I heard stuff about ice cream, but not about gas. I just want to
Hold
make
on, I
that.
just want to say something really quick because one, in New York, they do pump their own gas. It's not like in Jersey where, but also second, food preparation, making coffee, running a register, dipping ice cream, stocking, and then housekeeping procedures. And then that ranges between $13 and $15 per hour. So like, isn't that funny that they have like a $3 scale? Like you're either gonna make $13, $14, or $15 based on your ability to manage those fucking tasks. There, like those. Like what if they're like, okay, we're gonna start you off $13 an hour. How does that sound? You guys are like, are you fucking kidding me? You don't think I can make coffee, bro?
Ice cream.
I think it's fucked up they do a drug test for that. I feel like you should be hired for that job.
They drug test for everything in
They
New
should
York.
make sure you're on drugs when you walk in the door. They should be like, are you high? Like, no. Like, get high, motherfucker. You're working stewards.
Right.
We'll give you 15 an hour. I promise.
All right, so let's fill this out together. I'm gonna apply.
Yeah, let's see if we get it.
You're gonna apply?
Yeah, Colton Harpy.
Do you have a resume?
You don't need one. It's stewards. You need a resume.
What should we put as our last name?
Burpees.
Moon pie.
I'm just watching the people who have been watching live just plummet right now. I have a watch party going. It's been a steady 15 people. Now we're down to 5.
Oh, no.
Will Burr
The
is
Stewards is a hot button issue.
I forgot we have the same birthday.
Will Burr.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, we do. Not, I guess everyone knows now my birthday is January 17th. Fuck.
It takes 10 to 15 minutes for this application.
All right, yeah, fuck this.
I can tell you guys right now.
Dude, that's such a long application.
They're not Stewart's material if you
I'll
believe it's
just
a gas station.
mail them a bag of pee. We'll figure it out.
You know what's so funny? Is that
Yo, I know a guy who ended up working at Stewart's, but he, on his way to an interview at a different place, he had his kid brother's fake pee in a Ziploc bag, and he was afraid it wasn't warm enough, so he went into a Stewart's to use the microwave, and the bag blew up. So he just he just soaked the microwave in urine, and then they ended up hiring him a week later, and then he got fired for stealing a sandwich that he was supposed to throw in the garbage. Shout out to Chris. He went into the military after that. Really cleaned his life up after the piss incident.
Did he do the same thing at the military? Did he have to microwave his pee to get into the military?
I think he had to do it the legit way. I don't think he was able to skirt around the drug test for the military. But the fact that he blew up a bag of kid piss was like you'd think that would be a low point, but then he ends up getting fired for stealing a sandwich. It's like, oof. Yeah. From that same place with that same microwave that you warmed that sandwich up in. Like, that's way worse, dude.
That reminds me of something. Chris and Colton. You remember my friend Kevin, Crazy Kevin from my band?
With the nut explosion?
I'm not gonna
Wait,
say
Kevin C?
Yes.
The guy
the craziest motherfucker of all time.
Yeah.
I saw I haven't seen him in a long time, but like when I was doing stand-up at this time, he came to a show I was doing, and then we went out and like I hung out and like we like just drank and like I just crashed at his house and shit. But I guess he had a drug test like the next day, and we ended up like smoking weed or whatever. So unbeknownst to me, peed in a bag like before we smoked weed, and that was his big like fucking plan. And if you know this, Kevin, like this is like so like on brand. So I wake up the next fucking morning to him screaming, like how he would scream, like, ah, fuck! Like just yelling and shit, because he was nuking his bag of piss and he fucking spilled while he took it out, and it was burned. He was spilling on him and burning himself with his own hot piss.
Dude, I'll never forget.
Piss microwave story.
I never even thought of anyone to do that because I just never would put myself in a situation where I'd have to take a drug test.
In 5th grade, we had that new wing built in John Wallace, and he was the only kid. He walks outside of a classroom one time. He was pissed off at Miss Platt, and he takes his shoe and he goes, "Fuck you, Miss Platt!" And he kicks his shoe up through the fucking ceiling, and he broke 3 of the ceiling tiles because he was pissed he got kicked out of class in 5th grade.
Dog, he took a desk sledding down the stairs before. He did not give a fuck, dude. He's the craziest dude I ever know. I love him to death.
Went to the military?
Huh?
Is this the same dude?
No, they're separate.
No, this is just a friend of ours.
I actually have a story to top that. In 4th grade, the teachers put him and myself in charge of cleaning up everything at recess. And I remember we used to put it into the shed at Ruth Chafee, and then we used to fucking piss all over the toys because he just thought it'd be funny. So we were pissing all over the toys, and then the next day we would play with them. And there's like a wagon and fucking cones and shit, and we were just pissing all over them.
Oh my god!
Wow, you really showed yourself.
Bro, Colton, I used to do the same shit. When I was 16 and 17 years old, I used to work at McDonald's. It was like my first job, and
God.
it was the Beanie Baby craze. You guys remember when that shit was in? Yo, everybody was going fucking crazy. They were just going through the drive-thru. They weren't even buying food. They were just trying to buy the fucking Beanie Babies. It made me so mad. So I just remember one day I had enough. I would just grab the Beanie Babies. I would go to the bathroom and fucking pee all over it. I'd rip the sack out of it. I put an egg in it from the freezer and then from the refrigerator, and then I'd fucking pee on it, and then I'd throw it out by the dumpster in the middle of the McDonald's parking lot, and it's just, the egg is broken on the inside. There's no sack, and I peed on it. It's the middle of winter. Yo, I swear to God, I'm watching mom pull up and be like, go get it, go get it. Kids are running out of the car to go fucking retrieve them. They're bringing them in the back. They're bringing them back into the car. Yo.
It's because they believed that was college tuition. They believed in that shit.
That was
like, go get your future, kid. It's right over there, soaked in piss.
Yo, there was one of these was a fish. It was a little fish Beanie Baby.
I had the fish.
Yo, one night I was in the back and some guy came through and ordered 4 fish fillets. I'm like, who the fuck orders 4 fish fillets? So instead of cooking up the 4 fish fillets, I just put 4 fish Beanie Babies in. I melted cheese on top of them, squirted tartar sauce, and I stuck them out like they were normal. Yo, the guy didn't even fucking, he never called, he never returned them, didn't do shit. I bet he was so happy they were Beanie Babies instead of fucking food. It was cool.
With melted cheese on them?
Melted cheese, tartar sauce, it was in the bun, and I served that shit.
They do deserve $15 an hour. You're right, dude. I fucking.
Well, at least 13 to
like any like that's like an extreme one, dude. That makes me feel like any like my goofy like old job like shenanigans like are like juvenile. Like my favorite one when I worked at a Quiznos. I can mention it because it went out of business. We used to play the Onion game, and that's whenever you were mad, if you went out the back door, you were like maybe like 10 feet away from a CVS, and if you were upset, you took an onion, you opened up the back door, and you just whipped it at CVS as hard as you could, right next to the drive-through pharmacy.
Wow.
Did you ever get it in the window?
There wasn't the window, no, but it definitely made like a fucking crazy noise. But that's what I'm saying. It makes it seem so immature, but that was like my favorite thing, the Onion game.
That sounds like a
I use Colton.
You know those little tiny Eckerd shopping carts? Remember Eckerd? Do you guys remember that?
Oh yeah. It was Faze and then Eckerd.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Those little shopping carts. We used to take them and then spin around until we couldn't even hold ourselves up anymore and let go of the cart and just fly against the side of the shopping center building.
That's awesome.
I remember one time I used Colton's pee to beat a drug test to get a job at a nursing home. And I put it in a condom and strapped it to my leg, and I poked it and it wasn't coming out fast enough. So I had to like rip it, and there's like Colton's piss all over me. And then I realized there's like a temperature gauge on the side of the cup, and I was like, oh shit, they're gonna think that this is cold pee. So this is why me and Colton are such good friends, I guess. I was like, just to get like a little steam on the like outside of the cup. And I capped it up and I gave it to her, and she looked at it. She was like, all right. And I was like, all right, cool. And so I got a job at this nursing home, and that's when the trays would get too heavy, we would have like pitchers of water at all the things. I was a waiter. And when they'd get too heavy, I would just take the pitchers of water and dump them into the carpet so I could just go in one trip. So there would just be puddles of like carpet mess everywhere, and I didn't give a shit. I just dump them out and then put them all back on the thing and walk back like it was nothing.
Dude, tell the part about when you do that to my penis. You'd go.
Well, that's how I got the pee. Is I had to blow him for pee. That's how that works, right?
Chris, shining your dick like a knick-knack on the fucking fireplace. Your pocket watch.
Drug test you for that job, and then you get it. Do you get drug tested again?
No, that's it. You're good.
Work at that nursing home.
I think a lot of it is just knowing that you can pass a drug test if they ask you to. So like, you know, as long as you can beat the system and they know you can beat the system, nobody gives a shit. They're just like, okay.
I mean, the system is you knowing that you're going to get a job. It's not like all of a sudden they knock on your door and like, surprise, here's a job at your dreams nursing home. If you pass your piss test, you can take it right now. And you're like, oh my God. It's like, you know, you're looking for a job. You have Colton's condoms strapped on your fucking leg. I mean,
dude, I was literally, all you didn't even get like tips or anything. Like these people, it was the same seating arrangement. Everybody showed up at the same time, and you would just serve food like you were a waiter. It was like a faux restaurant for these old people.
I worked at a place like that too. When I was a bartender. It was for very wealthy people. Like there was like a certain like salary that you had to like, I don't know, have like a certain amount of money on like your stupid card and shit. But it was real fancy, and like you had to wear like a bow tie and shit. It was so dumb.
I had the bow tie and the maroon apron. It was awesome.
We had like the vest, like the men's like under jacket, like kind of vest thing, you know, and it was so weird though, because you're like all fancy, like, and I was tending bar, so I was like just giving out like Doers on the rocks and stuff like that, like things that old people drink. But then they still were getting cottage cheese and fruit as an appetizer. Like we had like a good chef and like good food and stuff, but like that was still always an option, because like, you know how you're saying the menu's kind of like preset. Like they have like 3 options. It's like going to a wedding. They're like, do you want the fish, the chicken, or the vegetarian option or whatever? But yeah, they always had cottage cheese and fruit. I'm like, that kind of kills the whole vibe, honestly.
That's where I found out I don't mind rice pudding. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of old people food is pretty good. Not all of it.
Did you make good money in the nursing homes? I had a couple of friends that all of a sudden, it seemed like it was like a phase at that time, like a certain time in my life, back when I used to live in New York, people all of a sudden started working at nursing homes. Like it was like the next.
Well, there was no tips. Like they couldn't tip you because it was all just preset. But it was still like, I think it was like $12 an hour for like a waiter job. So it was like pretty good. You just made your money in that. But I remember one time I went super high and I hated it so much. Like all these old people were asking me for so many things. This one woman her soup could never be hot enough. I would microwave it for like 15 minutes and bring it out to her, and it would be like still rolling, boiling in the cup. And she would, that's okay. I can deal with that. And I'm like, how are you not melting? Like I thought her face would just melt. It was literally like still bubbling, and I'd rush it out to her, and it was insane. But
what's that story with that bitch with the soup, Little Bo Peep?
Yes. The porridge?
Yeah, what is that?
That's the 3 Bears, man.
Goldilocks.
Goldilocks. Wait, who the fuck is Little Bo Peep?
Bro, don't you even know your fucking nursery rhyme?
Get your shit together, Cole. What the fuck
She's got Little Bo Peep. She's counting her sheep.
Yeah, that's what she's doing.
Listen,
wait, so Little Bo Peep, what's her deal? And
She
that's
had
it.
curds and whey. She was eating curds and whey, right?
That's
His
Little
little
Miss
Miss Muffet
Muffet.
sat on her tuffet eating her curds
Oh.
all day, which is
The
like
little Muffet's a bitch. She's as shitty as Carol Baskin right now to me.
we have not watched Tiger King. We
We
tried. We keep
can't.
falling asleep during it. Like I don't care that they're gay and they do meth and have tigers. I need more.
You
All right,
need.
We're also
You gotta
both
get into it.
Ozark, so it's like
Yeah.
no comparison.
have you guys watched Moonshiners back in the day?
No.
No.
But
Like
we
sometimes.
did. We watched The
Not
Wild
really.
and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia,
Yeah, I've
which I've
seen
heard
that.
is like there's like a lot of parallels with that show.
Hey, is this
So-
is this the magician?
Yeah, Paul.
Paul
Yeah.
Kilmer is the magician. Yeah.
Is he in here? Is he
Oh, Paul.
What up,
Oh, the
dude?
magician.
He's been here the whole time.
Yeah, he's been
No, I
hanging
didn't.
out wearing a dope ass Jurassic Park shirt.
I thought he fell asleep a couple of times. Let's unmute this guy. What's up, Paul? How you doing, man? Thanks for sitting here the whole time.
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, man. Thank you for enduring this.
It's hilarious.
Awesome.
You guys are hilarious.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I like the setup you got going on. It's like cats, a printer, pizza. You know, it's like the world is your oyster.
Paul comes
is.
to our writers group like every night. Like I don't know if you guys know, but we do like a Zoom thing too every single day. It's the virtual writers group at we do it at 7 p.m. or on Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah,
though.
plug it. Say what it is.
It's the virtual writers group. It's just comics and writers. We get together every day, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we just like do joke exercises, like do drills. We have the riff bowl. We have topics in that, and we just like the most or best jokes you can write in like 2 minutes, and like run them by each other and like punch them up. And it's just a huge collective group of like comics from all over since this whole shutdown's been starting. It's been cool.
Yeah, it's a 90-minute workshop with just timed
Yeah.
exercises, and I just kind of have a format that I follow, and he helps me host it, and it's productive, and everyone just helps punch each other's shit up. But for the most part, it's like the most helpful of getting premises. Like I have so much shit I have to write now that's like it's kind of bumming me out. I was supposed to film my first special at the end of March, and like my first hour, and I know that hour. It's my hour. Like I know what it is. I'm super proud of it. But now I'm like, well, fuck, I have to come back out in August. I can't just be like, none of that happened, and like just keep on trucking with my butt stuff jokes. Like I have to like talk about it. So it's like shit. It's a way to just stay limber, because like, what are you gonna do when you come? I mean, it's gonna be months until we're gonna be able to be in front of an audience again. Like, so at least on Zoom, as you guys know, because we're on it right now, you get that live feedback. You get like a
see
room full of people
smiling,
who can
laughing.
laugh, and then who can also say, oh, I like that punch, but what about if you took it in this direction? And you can be like, all right, jot it down and like work on it later.
So how
Yeah.
many
We
people
do
are
like
in that group?
jokes and topics, and we also run monologue jokes, and that's been super helpful for just like tweets and like submitting them for like jokes and stuff for like late night shows, or like like other shit that like blogs and shit like that, or popular websites that take submissions. And
Sean, what were you saying though?
Oh, how many people are in that group, and how long do you do it for? If it starts at 7, what time does it end?
Probably, it usually ends around 9, because on Fridays we do an open mic afterwards, like in the same group. It just rolls into it. Like we set up a whole comedy club in our like living room, and then like you can just run the jokes that you've been working on. And then some people check that out because it's a little later and they're not like putting the kids to bed or like doing whatever they got to do at 7 p.m. And then on Saturdays we're trying to do a show too, like a showcase show, like of just like 5 good comics doing like a set.
And that's
Yeah,
at
the
That's
intention is
that's
for
Eastern
round.
Standard Time.
right, guys?
Eastern Standard.
Yeah, so 7. So then they usually go for about 2 hours. They usually end around 9, because that's when the open mic and the showcase would start.
Well, we
so.
try to wrap at 8:30 so that there can be a break, like an intermission and stuff. But
We get into it, though.
we get about like 15 or so people who join it every day, and because it's every single day, it's like we have some like there's like 1 or 2 comics who comes every day, like has never missed one. But then we have other times like one person jumps in like every Wednesday or whatever. So it's like this revolving door. So you get in front of different people every day. It's not like the same group, but there is a similar core group, which is nice too, because then you can kind of like gauge the waters. Like you can figure out like what certain people's voice is and help them better, if they're there more often. Like you can get a feel for who they are as a comic and what would fit their voice, instead of just like spitballing tags that like don't necessarily fit them.
Yeah, it's
So-
anywhere from like 10 to 20 something usually.
Yeah, and you get what you put into it. So it's kind of cool. Some people just hang out and listen, and then other people just machine gun jokes the whole time. And then we get to see them, like, post them on social media and stuff after, and get a good reaction. And it's like, otherwise, man, I would not put pen to paper. I've been writing on stage exclusively for like well over a year now. Like, I haven't like physically written a joke in forever before this. So it's been good. Stay limber.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If you guys, so if anybody wanted to check that out, where can they go check that out?
If you want to check out the Virtual Writers Group, we have a Facebook page. You can check it out. Just search for it, Virtual Writers Group. But it's the Zoom chat number is 308-309-634. But you need a password. So that's the one headache involved. It's the same chat number. It's the same password every time. But it's kind of like a speakeasy because we don't want to get have to deal with the hacked bullshit that sometimes happens with Zoom. So the password pretty much guarantees all that. So if you want the password, you have to message Ham or I, and we'll give it to you.
Ham or I.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So if you guys want to check that out, message Ham or Brian, and that is 7 p.m. Eastern time, or right here on the West Coast, that's going to be 4 p.m. So there it is.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And we have a couple comics from California who join us pretty regularly. So
yeah, we got some people in Cali. We've gotten some people in Europe and shit, even just people all over. A lot of Boston comics. It's been mad cool.
Well, that sounds awesome, man. I'm gonna check it out for sure.
Dude, come by. It's every day. That's the beauty of it. And the mic's been pretty good, and I'm hoping the showcase can go just as well.
Yeah.
Because we're no strangers to the live streaming shit. We were doing it on publicaccessandchill.com before all this too. It's been cool. Now, we've been doing the Public Access and Dill live where we do a Q&A with the Cactus, and I've been getting hundreds of views while I'm going live with that shit because we already had the live stream following. So it's just jumping right back into it, business as fucking usual. You know what I mean? But with this thing, it's been really fun, and I love how interactive and Ham said, you can see everybody, and it is being in a room with people and working a crowd and still personal as it can be, talking to a screen and shit. And also you can see yourself, which is fucking awesome. Everyone likes to see themselves too.
Well, not only that, you guys have been doing it for so long. The Hartford Courant, which is a Connecticut newspaper, picked you guys up and did a story about it. So if you guys,
Ham being sexy as fuck.
It's one of my favorite headshots. I look like a serial killer.
You look sexy.
Ha.
Murder me.
So what are they talking about in this article?
It's the Virtual Writers Group, just everything we were doing with it. This was an instant response. The day everything got shut down in Connecticut, we were just lucky. Adam Parisi, who was also an awesome comedian, magician, had set up a show on March 16th, preemptively. And that stream for him was very successful. And we were already in the works of doing the Writers Group, which is more of just a constructive workshop. So that's the angle we're really trying to do, because we're even doing, and I don't know if you guys are in the CT Comics page, but we were even doing joke contests where Out of Pocket Ham was whoever writes the best joke about this topic, I'll Venmo you $10 today by 5 p.m.
Yeah.
And then I won one and I gave the money back. Every joke that makes me laugh, I'll Venmo you $1. We're just paying comics out of pocket. We're just trying to be good to comedy because we know that not only is this going to keep it up, but we're going to be thankful for it when everything's all back to normal and we were the ones still doing shit for our own sanity and for comedy in general. We're going to be prepared with God knows how much material from the fucking Writers Group.
It's the same thing with here. You know what I mean? We're trying to do something that's consistent. We're doing Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So we're trying to do almost an every other day kind of thing, but something, 2 guests every week. We ask other people if they want to kind of join. We're doing it on Facebook Live just to kind of, still be a part of the community, bring the community together, reach out to comics. It's awesome to meet you guys and, for a chance, for the audience on Chris and Colton's end there, to be able to see what's going on over here in Southern California.
Yeah, for sure. And the Virtual Writers Group is literally open to anybody. We have people that just come in and listen, and if they want to, you can say jokes that you wrote or not, or you can just literally take the class, quote unquote, and just sit there and be on mute the whole time. People get lots of benefits anyway with it, and I find it personally just beneficial just to force myself to actually write about a topic instead of just waiting for inspiration to strike, which yes, you'll probably have a good story out of it, boom, when the inspiration strikes because a fucking crazy situation happens and you can just kind of tell it as it is. But to force yourself to think about laser tag or grocery shopping and then really mentally and critically take it apart, like it's very beneficial because it makes you that much quicker at having like responses and just trusting your comedic instincts.
Right. I mean, well, both of us as stand-ups, we always like ask the audience for suggestions just to fuck around.
We're
be
bored.
like, what do you want to hear a joke about? It's usually a merch pitch. We'll just be like, what's it gonna take to get you in a hat that says meat slap on it? What's it gonna take? What do I gotta do a joke about right now? I will do about anything. I'm that fucking good at comedy. And then it just turns into a fucking infomercial for our merch, but also we just, if they say something and it stumps us for a second, we'll be like, well, what do you think about that? Let them say the stupid thing and then pounce. You know, it's like, it's that easy. You don't even have to have anything up your sleeve. You just have to be able to handle whatever dumb shit comes out of their mouth, and dumb shit will come out of their
I'd
mouths.
rather be more in the moment.
Always.
Look at Paul Kilmer in a dope ass meat slap.
Meat slap. Hell yeah. Fucking branding is everything, dog. Look at how that
Branding is
shimmers.
everything.
Paul, you look beautiful.
He's a
That's an
holographic
amazing
Paul
hat.
Kilmer.
Can you believe
It's-
that hat is only $5, everybody? $5?
Wow.
And it's fleece lined?
What?
I mean, who's even
And
doing
Come on,
that?
all varieties.
What's the website people could go to get that hat?
I mean, what's it going to take to get everyone watching right now in a meat slap hat? That's what I want to know. Because
Yeah.
with $5 plus $3 shipping and handling, you can have one.
$8?
$8. It's like you can't afford not to have one.
What? You could just Venmo at Ham Clancy or at Daddy Woke.
It can't
all
be
one
that
word.
simple.
It is that simple.
He's got the book. He's got the book.
He's got the book.
He's got the book.
Fuck yeah, dude. He is.
And a
is that-
second meat slap hat.
Oh yeah, his fiance bought one too.
And they own my book. Everything.
So
is-
where do people go to purchase all that? What's the website?
Meatslappodcast.com.
/merch. We have a whole merch store on there. Plus,
You were there
Meat
before.
Slap Podcast is the best goddamn podcast in the universe. So just go there anyway. Listen to us have a meltdown every Monday evening in our closet. It's
Podcast.
It's out on Wednesdays, so
It
the
does.
Monday is none of your goddamn business. But yeah, we have a new podcast that comes out every Wednesday. We usually record it on Mondays.
Hell yeah.
Now every Wednesday it's on Spotify,
By the way-
Apple Podcast, and Podbean. all
And
that
the
shit.
website only shows 3 hats, but we have like 40 different hats. We have a suitcase full of
Yeah,
hats.
it depends on how many we make, because we make our own hats actually.
We make all of our merch by hand.
Yeah.
We have like
Right,
all
so-
sorts of shit, but it's all handmade.
So Paul's an active writer in this group, right? So Paul's an
Yeah,
active
hell
writer.
yeah, he's awesome.
Paul's also a magician.
Yeah.
So Paul, can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself. If you're up to it, maybe do some magic for us.
Yeah, hold on.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
It's not cocaine, but my name is Paul. I'm 37. I sexually identify as an older white guy from Plainville, Connecticut. I've been doing stand-up comedy for about 5 or 6 months, and Brian and Ham are a really good resource, especially for somebody getting in to it, and they help me out a lot. So yeah, branding is everything. Buy their stuff. As you can see, I have 3 pieces of rope, 1 medium, 1 large, and 1 small. But if I just blow on it, now blowing on it doesn't do anything. It just makes me feel better about myself. But I'm just going to go ahead and just stretch them out until they're all one length like that. That's the same reaction I get when I hang out with my fiance. But if I take these 2 ends, give it a little blow, I can make one of the pieces of rope disappear like that.
Oh shit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
If I take the rope like that, I can take this end, put it in my hand, and then it jumps over to here. And if I take this end, it jumps over to there. And that's how you do the trick with the 3 ropes, because just like being engaged, it's an illusion. I'm not really engaged.
Oh, loving.
Wow.
Fuck yeah. Holy shit. What?
Hell yeah, Paul Kilmer.
I love you, Paul Kilmer. I fucking love you, man.
I'm
I
glad
love
you
you
have
too.
a bag of string right next to you.
Nailed it.
But I will say this, being in the writers group and learning how to structure jokes is the hardest thing for me, because I kind of play this like weird I usually play a character, but actually learning actual jokes from actual real stand-up comedians is super beneficial, and it's every night at 7. So
Every day. That's the key thing. That's the beauty in it. Is we do
Paul
it
the
every day.
Plug Kilmer. Look at
Thank
this.
you.
Hell yeah, Paul
Kilmer.
Kilmer. Thank
We love
you.
you, Paul. You're
Better
the best.
call.
Hats back on, put both those hats back on, come out with the books, and then plug that shit one more time for everybody. One more time. Where can we see this? Put the hats back on.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna plug the shit out of this.
Slapodcast.com/merch. You can get my book, The Liquor Store Chronicles, if you want to learn about crackheads from Hartford, or you could buy Ham's book, 10 pounds a month.
If you want to be as thin as a crackhead from Hartford, that's gonna be
if you want to get sexy fast, you can lose 10 pounds a month. Dog, I swear by keto. I thought, I was a fat fuck. You saw me in those clips looking like I did. I lost 90 pounds in 9 months.
He's 145 pounds.
Yeah.
He's tiny.
Yeah, did you
He's
know you
this
can still
fucking
eat
big.
jarfuls of peanut butter? It doesn't matter.
Plus, it
Everything's
makes your
fine.
dick look huge.
Let me ask you this: was
Even weird looking.
how much were you working out as well, or is it mainly diet? It was.
I did a little bit, but it wasn't anything regular.
He picks me up and does squats, which is like, I mean, I'm like about the same weight as him, so it's like he is picking up like his own body weight and doing squats with it and shit.
Yeah, that was only for like personal preference of like, because like, you don't want to like just get weak and just be like gross and stuff. But like, no, not really any working out like at all. It was just diet and nutrition.
But there's one main difference, which is interesting. Like, so Brian didn't practice intermittent fasting when he lost the weight, and he still lost the weight at the same pace because diet really is everything. But I did intermittent fasting because it triggers this process called autophagy, which destroys any like excess cells that your body doesn't need. And one of the first things it goes after is your skin. So Brian has like, he's so tiny, he has like just a little loose skin in his belly. That's like the only negative side effect of his weight loss. But I have nothing. Like, you can't even tell that I was ever overweight. It's like, it's a fucking miracle. Like, I look better at 31 than I did at 18 for sure.
She's smoking. It's crazy.
Stop. But like, I was like, I got like, oh my God, I got my belly button pierced at 29. Like, that's not the cry for I don't know.
100 pounds. That's fucking amazing, guys.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's wild. Like, women carry it differently. Like, I didn't look at, like, if you look at pictures of Brian and I, our before pictures, we actually were the same weight when we start. Like, our highest weight is
you
the
have
same,
before pictures?
but it just looked very different on both of us.
Do you keep them around? Do you keep before pictures around the house?
Yeah. You know what's funny? So I lost all the weight before I met Brian, and then I met him, and he actually ate his like same old way, like even after we moved in together and stuff. It wasn't until like a few months after we'd been living together that he realized the food I eat is like I eat like just chicken wings like all the time. Like, basically just eat chicken wings and Land O'Lakes white American cheese directly out of the bag like a raccoon behind a dumpster. Fuck. And like, I just was like this, yeah, there we go. Hey.
Wow.
Look at that durable woman. She was built for tough, baby. Woo!
You're beautiful.
No.
Beautiful in both.
That is a very nice thing someone could say.
I am saying.
So let me ask you this. So you said that you lost the weight and then you met Brian, and Brian was already, and he was big still?
Yeah, he was the biggest.
Dog.
Yeah, biggest.
I was at my worst.
Yep.
So
when I met him, I was sober for 10 months too, because like I quit drinking when I lost the weight because you lose it faster. But then once I lost the weight, like I used to be like big into like just straight whiskey and like heavy beers. I loved booze. And like when I lost the weight, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go out and drink. Like, this is gonna be dope. And no, 135-pound me cannot put them away like 235-pound me could. Like, my nickname used to be the old boy. Like, the old boy can fucking drink, okay? But like me, like little old me, like I couldn't.
Yeah, you couldn't. You were a bummer to drink. Chris,
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember. I used to partake in the alcohol. I used to like an occasional alcoholic beverage every 5 minutes or so.
But then we got sober together. Like, we quit drinking. Like, he quit drinking and started keto, like, back to back. And then I was like, I'm really bad at drinking now too. Like, I'll stop. And like, so we just made that like same commitment. But yeah, then he just on his own, like just following what I ate, like just asking me like what to eat. he just dropped 90 pounds in 9 months and was sober the whole time. And I'm like, just so fucking proud of him. But you look like a different person.
It's so weird because I feel like, you lost that weight, right? You lost like 100 pounds, right? And then all of a sudden you're looking at, this fat slob, and you're like, hey, this guy is fucking sexy. Like,
Rusty, no one was more surprised than Brian. We'll say that.
Look, I am charming.
Brian, both of you guys look fucking amazing. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah, that's very sweet.
Well, the thing is, like, Brian is funny, and like it's as a
very funny apparently.
Well, here's the thing. Let's be honest.
Quality.
You guys have been fucking hilarious. I know you're hilarious, bro. Just by
You saw those sketches. Look at me bringing my A game.
But it's like it's nice because like you need someone who can keep up with you. Like there's been times when like Brian will be headlining and I'll feature for him, but there's other times when I'm headlining and he's featuring for me. Like we both are like comics who are like, we just machine gun people and we just come at you and like we're always at a 10. And so to like find somebody who fits that, like that to me, when I was younger, like my celebrity crush was Seth Rogen. Like that's the kind of person I am. I was like, oh, why does anyone want to fuck Seth in Superbad? What's the problem? And like, he was like, dope, like that's my demographic. And then
you found a real life Seth Rogen from Superbad.
Yes, like who's more stoked than me? Nobody. And it was just like, that's just what it was. Basically, Brian's friends ragged on him for months and thought I was like catfishing him or whatever. And then I moved to Connecticut and we proved them all wrong. So, but no, he just lost a bunch of weight and like just looks phenomenal. But he's just the funniest person. And what y'all don't know is that he's the biggest sap and goober I've ever met in my entire life. He is a bitch. No, I'm just kidding. He brought me breakfast in bed Saturday and Sunday this weekend. You kidding me? Like, who's better than him?
Quarantine. Trying to stack.
You guys watch This Is Us?
What's that?
You watch that show, This Is Us?
No.
No. You'd cry.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's good, man. That shit is good. You would cry, bro. You would cry.
Look at Sean. You can see every one of Sean's teeth right now. He's like, you watch This Is Us? Like, I love This Is Us. I love it. I've been trying to shoehorn it in for an hour and a half.
It's a good show. It's a good show.
They actually are the next sponsor we're going to do a commercial for real quick.
Yeah, they are. And we're going to go into it right now. This is going to feature me, Brian, and Chris. It's called The Secret Handshake.
This is one of my favorite sketches that we actually made. I love it.
I love this.
Wait, hang on. I gotta disable my...
Let's put everybody on mute. If everybody can mute their screens.
Yeah, Dustin's missing. We shout out to Dustin for being that random guy that.
Poor Dustin. Where is Dustin?
I don't know.
He's like an architect now. He's doing big things.
That was the funniest sketch where we introduced him to. Who the fuck are you, bro?
Hey, bro.
Oh, I like this sketch.
I want to see the handshake one. So.
Oh, is that what this one is?
This is the secret handshake.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. My AirPods keep randomly connecting, and I'm trying to stop that. They're in the case, but I don't know what's going on, dude. And Brian, everyone keeps asking for Jimmy Blair. Is he available to come on for a minute?
We
can try and contact him. He's been blackout drunk this entire quarantine.
That's perfect.
He's Dale Earnhardt Jr. on my show. He's my son.
I'll try and get him on the line while the clip plays.
Yeah, while we play this, try to get him on.
All right, dope.
All right, hang on one second.
Okay.
Technical difficulties. We are.
Dude, you gotta check out this new handshake I just learned. Okay. It's awesome. Let me show you. It's intense. You ready? I'm ready. Ready? Okay. Dude, I think it's cool when Chris in there. It sounds like Jello, fucking Jello. Yeah, right, like that. Oh, just like that. Sounds like, you know what, maybe 3 rounds of applause. Yeah, I'm golf clapping there. Try it again? Yeah, you want to take our shirts off? It's hot. Yeah, I'm just going to do one of these. Yeah, I'm going to sweat my gym class teacher. Take my shirt off. All right. Okay. Ready? Yeah. Ready? Sounds like a horse. Sounds like Garfield dying. Must eat too much lasagna. It sounds like someone fucking lasagna. That's a good one. Faster! 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 Up top! Up top! Up top! Up top! Up top! Up top! It's like potato salad that just fell off the picnic table. Oh, fuck! Yeah. Okay, down low. Pound it. Yeah. Feel it? Yeah, I feel it. Yeah, go deep. All right. Up top. I think they're having sex. I don't know. Sounds like a prison shower. I'm not opening that door, dude. Spin around. Spin. 1, 2. Oh my God. All right, I'll do it. All right. Bros, what's going on in here? It's not what it looks like. Dude, they stole our handshake. Bastards.
It's Jabby's Peeps and Dazareets, bitch.
All right.
And that's why it was a secret handshake.
I loved that sketch. I don't even care. And I'm realizing like what I really brought to the table was I was the guy that always thought of the last little twist line, like, hey, they stole our handshake. And then I was like, I helped. Good job, guys. Minor contributions.
Well, that was the go as you go kind of scenario that we had. It was just fuck it. Hopefully we think of something at the end. I'm glad you did.
Yeah, well, we needed that fucking period at the end of the sentence. Dog, like, I mean, for, like, people not knowing what the sketches are, if you don't know, like, every sketch was just in your room, and it started with 3 of us in the room with 1 person walking in going, bros, and then situation. And it was all roommate-based. And they were just
that room doesn't even exist anymore. That is rest in peace to that room. It is a whole different setup now.
You still live there?
Yeah, but it's different.
Yeah.
I'll bring you with me on this journey.
Oh, damn, we cribs in it?
Oh, my God.
Yo, cribs!
It's funny because your background's not changing, so it just looks like you're walking down like nothing. Like
I'm moving, everybody.
You're on Mario 64 and you haven't unlocked the top castle yet. You're just running up the stairs forever.
Look, that's that hallway I was just standing in outside that door listening to lasagna slap.
Oh shit! That's your basement?
Yeah,
It's an office now?
Yeah. It's blank. But I took down all that wood paneling and all that nasty shit.
Yeah, and all those beer posters.
Yeah, there's no beer. There's my Rick doll.
Sick drywall, bro. Looks way better than paneling.
You still got that motorcycle?
I did it all myself. I'm a handyman.
Nice.
Wait, dude, that's fucking crazy. So you
We
got
did carpentry.
That's dope.
There's floors.
Oh, he needs to come to our bathroom.
Chris, come to Salem, Connecticut and fix our shit.
Mm-hmm.
I featured my bathroom in, I think, the last episode. Was it, or the episode before that?
No, the first episode. Yeah, the one that I didn't want to dance in. That's your bathroom.
Oh, no. We did, we were talking about how you wipe your ass on the last episode of the worst show ever.
Oh, nice.
Hang on.
I featured my bracket bidet on my toilet. I don't know how to hold this thing.
Did you guys?
Oh, cool.
But yeah, we'll feature another room next episode.
Every it's one cribs, one segment at a time.
Did you guys?
Chapter 3, the kitchen.
Place is too small to show in one episode.
Trilogy.
Very cool.
Cool.
All right. So before we get out of here, we like to do a segment where we let our guests plug anything that they want to plug, and then we do a segment where we all do our stand-up at once. So on the count of 5, we just start performing like we're on stage, and then that's how we end the show. So
Oh, that's funny.
before we start that, though, you guys plug your stuff. And Paul, we're going to count you in on this, too. We want you to plug your shit, whatever you got to plug, magician, whatever. You let people know where they can find you. But actually, we'll start with you, Paul, and then Kate and Brian, we'll go to you. So, Paul, I'm going to unmute you, and then if if you want to plug where people can find you, hang on one sec. All right, go for it.
Hi, I'm Paul. I'm Paul again. You can find me on my Facebook, The Amazing Magical Paul. I perform magic shows for pretty much any demographic of people. I've just started doing stand-up comedy. I've been on a couple of shows, but I'm pretty much mainly here to watch Brian and Kate. So this was awesome. So thanks for asking me questions. I feel really good about myself.
Fuck yeah,
Aw,
dude. You
yay,
deserved it. And your magic
Paul.
trick was fucking dope, bro.
Fuck yeah, Paul Kilmer. You're the shit.
Fuck
Double
yeah.
meat slap Paul. That was so sick.
Hell yeah.
And he said branding is everything, which is
Branding is
best.
everything. That's our slogan for our podcast. Meat Slap Podcast. You can go to meatslappodcast.com for all things meat slap.
That's right. You want me to do I do the
The
plugs on our
reads.
podcast every week, so I know them by heart. But it's like, well, first of all, you can follow us on Poop Map. Download the Poop Map app and start mapping those dumps. You can follow me, Ham, parentheses, Meat Slap Podcast, or Brian, BBQ, parentheses, Meat Slap Podcast. We're out here mapping and slapping, so check that out. And also, if you want to get on lesser social media, if you're not into Poop Map, boo, I guess you can go on Instagram and follow @Meat Slap Podcast or individually @Ham Clancy, @Daddy Pork Chops. Also, go to publicaccessandchill.com for all things Public Access and Chill, including new seasons of our sketch shows, Charlene Cuisine Season 2, The Seasoning, It Is Upon Us, and Public Access and Dill. And
Hell
go
yeah.
ahead with the virtual shit.
And you can check out the virtual writers group that me and Hamill are doing every fucking day, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Zoom on zoom.us. You can check out the chat at 308-309-634. Message us for the password. You gotta fucking get the password because we don't give a fuck if you don't have it. You gotta figure it out. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Hell yeah.
And this was dope. Thanks for having us on the fucking show before we started doing
Wow.
our stand-up. I just want to say thanks for showing me middle school pictures. Making me Pokemon evolve out of being a lesbian.
John wanted to say something.
Yeah.
What's your Instagram? I was just trying to make it up.
Oh, so it's Meat Slap Podcast, @Ham Clancy, and @Daddy Pork Chops.
Okay,
So those
cool.
are our three.
And
Or @Public Access and Chill.
Mm-hmm.
Or @Charlene
one
Cuisine.
segment where Chris tells us how much he makes before taxes to everybody. So Chris, take it away.
Well, I would, but I think I really wanted to plug my basement renewal system, my new company I just created. It's Chris Janeski's Basements.com. Not Larry Janeski, it's Chris Janeski. So get basementy, everybody. Call me if you need anything.
Weird last name change.
I had to for branding because brand is everything.
Branding
Fuck
is everything.
Yeah, yo, hip hop air horns right here.
It's a true
Double
slogan.
man.
The only reason that's a slogan to our podcast is we heard someone say branding's not important in comedy, and we were like, what? Like, branding is everything. What are you talking about? I mean, obviously jokes are more important, but at the time we were very outraged, so it became our slogan forever.
Yeah, y'all ever make a podcast because you're petty and then just do it forever every week? You ever do that? It's fun. You should try that.
They're doing it 3 times a week.
Okay, so before we get out of here, guys, I mean, if you want to get out of here, I don't know. How are
I
you
want
guys?
to get out of here. I'm done. I'm just kidding.
It's getting midnight. I am sleepy. I gotta watch Ozark.
What we
Still
do-
record our podcast.
We do a segment before we end the show, and everybody does their material on the count of 5 like they're on stage, and then we close out with that randomly. So on the count of 5, you just go into a joke or a bit like you're on stage. If you want to do crowd work, and we just carry it out for as long as we can, and then we just end the meeting.
Okay,
Nice.
Okay.
well, thank you guys for
having us.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's a
Yeah.
lot of
Nice to
fun.
meet you.
Yeah.
Great. I'm excited.
Yeah. And Paul, if you want to join in on this too, you can. We have you unmuted, so you just start talking about whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah,
And
we're
then
all going to talk over each other. We're all going to do our set. On the count of 5.
so on
I'm
the
gonna
count of 5,
crush.
Ready?
Good
1,
luck following me.
2, 3, 4, 5. So my
I was.
Hey guys, it's me, Paul. I just wanted to tell you guys that
And
I don't know if Panda Express is going to take that soup off the menu, but I think they should. I grew up in the 80s.